Hi there, it's Marie Blue Angel, and I am back with the demo for Threads of You Beyond the Bay. I believe I don't remember which day I'm on, and I think it's Tuesday, but it's not lighting up, so we'll see, but I know it's the afternoon. So we're gonna continue. I actually don't remember what I did in the morning in the game because it's been a hot minute, but that's okay. We can go see Kai. I think that's Kai. Or we can see Chris. We could go to the diner. Maybe you are hungry. You reach the entrance of Cuppa-Jamamas, your empty stomach in desperate need for a hot meal. That's what you get for skipping breakfast today. I love this diner, it's cute. A weak shove to the door brings you inside, where you're instantly assaulted with the cacophony of chatter, clinking plates, and sizzling pans. The place is packed with patrons, some larger groups squeezed into booths, while singles are pressed shoulder to shoulder at the counter. Holy shit. You spot Chris sipping back and forth across the diner floor like a blurry bolt of strawberry blonde lightning. He expertly balances tower of plates in one hand while serving drinks with the other. Wow, Chris is really going. Such an expert. Another server speeds past him with a tray full of freshly griddled pancakes and various brunch fare. She quickly serves them before dashing to another table. Order up for table 5. The cook's cheery voice rings loudly amongst the noise by the service window. Her hair clings to her forehead. Her hair clings to her forehead, but she still beams at Chris when he approaches, empty tray in hand. It's an all-out war zone, leaving the staff clearly outnumbered. You glance over and blink at the daunting pile of to-go orders by the entrance. I've seen lunch rushes before, but this is rough. I wonder how they handle it every day. True. Ugh. A long drawn-out sigh comes from beside you, and you look over to find a man standing a few feet away, tapping his foot impatiently. The frown on his face deepens, and he shakes his head, muttering something to himself under his breath. I shouldn't have gotten out of bed today. He leans against the wall, idly playing with the "please wait to be seated" sign with one hand, rocking it back and forth. Crick quickly approaches you both, slightly out of breath but still maintaining that bright, warm smile. Chris looks so cute. He tilts his head towards you before offering the man an apologetic look. Thank you for waiting. I'm sorry, sir, but our last table is taken. It'll be a bit of a wait for one, if that's okay. The man grumbles, glancing between the crowded diner and the phone in his hand. Maybe I should take my chances at the beach instead. But I don't want to stand out in the sun if there's a line, too. Chris, I've got the side of hash browns for table hello. Her face drops a bit as she approaches Chris with a plate in hand. At first, you're worried you might have offended her somehow, but you follow her line of sight towards the man. She seems to be very wary of him. Shuffling slightly closer to Chris, despite the shift in her attitude, she managed to muster an awkward smile. That's weird. Is something up with this guy? I mean, maybe they have a shared history. Maybe they know each other, you know? I'm sorry if you've been waiting long, sir. If you're in a hurry and still would like some of our delicious food, we also do to go. The man sighs, his frown smoothing out a bit and dropping his shoulders in defeat. Maybe it's just my luck that I finally got a break and it had to be during lunch rush. I mean, that's a tough break for sure, you know? Okay. A case of bad luck. Huh. Well, I've got just the thing. She hands a plate of hash browns to Chris and reaches for her apron pocket, pulling out a salt shaker. You stare curiously as she shakes a bit of salt into her palm before tossing it over her left shoulder. And just like that, all bad omens are gone. Come on, don't be shy. And it's super important that you throw it over your left. He blinks slowly as if he's trying to process what just happened. Chris also is like, oh, what is happening? A few awkward beats later, he extends an open hand and she grins, shaking a good pinch of salt into it. She nods encouragingly, and he takes his hand back before doing a quick, jerky toss over his shoulder. He gives her a wobbly, stiff smile, almost like he's unused to making the expression. Nice. So, how about I get you a menu? We've got everything you could possibly think of, sort of. Sure, thanks. Chris clears his throat, gathering your attention back to him. He inclines his head towards the seating area with the menu tucked under an arm. You follow him, trying to subtly take glances over your shoulder at the stranger. Now that you think about it, he looks kind of familiar. Where have you seen him before?
I feel like we had a disgruntled voice before, but I haven't played in a little bit, so I have no idea. But I do remember encountering a disgruntled voice before, maybe at the farmer's market.
Is he a problem customer for you guys? Chris briefly turns his head to look at the man before shaking his head. Not exactly. Jin Yang's situation is a little complicated, Chris says. Chris slides the menu on the table in front of you as soon as you're seated. Anyways, sorry about the wait. Take your time looking at the menu and holler for me when you're good. Actually... What's up? Things look really busy. Can I help?
Chris smiles warmly and shakes his head. I'm just throwing out whatever game plan I had last time, given that this is a demo. But I haven't really seen so much of Chris, so I want to also help out. I feel bad, given that it's also lunch rush hour.
Chris smiles warmly and shakes his head. I really appreciate the offer, but we're all right. Things look hectic, but I promise that we're all used to it. We'll be okay, I promise. One lunch rush finishes, everything will slow down again. Things run like a well-oiled machine, even if it doesn't seem like it. Sierra's great with cooking and serving customers, and Marie, our part-timer, is quick on her feet. You spare a quick look over your shoulder and notice several more people waiting by the front for a table. Jin Yang's pointing at something on the menu. Sierra nodded as she jots it down. Marie spreads through the diner with ease, avoiding a kid standing in the middle of the floor while balancing a hefty stack of plates. Soon enough, most of the diner's heads are lowered to chow down on their food. Chris makes a cursory glance around just to make sure, and he breathes out a small sigh of relief. He looks exhausted. They all do. Chris huffs out a small laugh, his soft gaze directed at you. I can tell what you're thinking with that look on your face. We pride ourselves on being able to handle things, so it's fine, really. Okay, if you're sure. On the bright side, I guess having this kind of rush on a Monday is a good thing, right?
Oh.
Definitely. Honestly, we owe our regulars big time for keeping this place afloat. Are most of your customers regulars? Yep. We've got some folks from at least 2 generations back that have been coming here since my parents opened Cupajo Mamas. The diner isn't much of a historic landmark compared to other spots in Brine Bay, but it's been a staple for the community. Oh, that's nice though. Honestly, after my dad got sick, I was worried about the future of this place. I'm really glad to see it doing well. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is he doing okay? Chris offers a small shrug and a smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes. Yep, no worries. I've got everything under control. Oh.
There's a lot going on there.
Anyway, A thunderous metallic thunk from the kitchen suddenly cuts him off and he startles. The noise attracts some curious and mildly concerned looks from several patrons as they look up from their tables. Sorry, let me go check that out. I'll be right back.
I hope everyone's okay there.
He sprints over and through the staff door, leaving it swinging wildly back and forth. Muffled voices emerge from the kitchen window, but it's impossible to make anything out from where he's sitting. A few minutes pass before he comes back out, looking more haggard than earlier. He stops by each table, talking to them in a gentle, apologetic tone and bowing his head to every single one. By the time he makes it to the booth next to you, you notice several people shaking their heads and slipping out of their seats, leaving the diner with a huff. Did the cook go? I'm terribly sorry, but our stove is completely out of commission, so all hot foods can't be prepared. But anything that doesn't need to be heated is still up for grabs. We've got a good assortment to choose from. He receives a few grumbles of displeasure, and he bows again, offering another round of apologies.
I mean, it's a stove, like, there's not much else you can do, you know?
You're the last one left to break the bad news to, but as he straightens his back, he catches your gaze. You toss a thumbs up to him, and he gives you a wry smile, mouthing, "I'm sorry." You shake your head and give him the okay hand sign. His shoulders slump with relief at your understanding, and he turns his back to you, making a beeline to an abandoned table. Even though a few tables opened up, they're all a mess. A quick look at the front makes you wince at the sight of more people waiting in line now than when you were seated. Sierra greets them energetically, maybe a bit too strongly, before she rushes to a dirty table with a cleaning rag. I know Chris told me they're used to this, but the kitchen malfunctioning on top of everything seems too much for just the three of them. Is there something I can do to help?
I mean, do I know how to clean tables? I mean, because I would love to clean tables, but I don't know if that would help, especially if they have their own system. Offer encouragement, I think, is a good way to go.
Instead of jumping into the front lines, a spark of inspiration hits you, and you quickly sneak out of your seat towards the entrance. Posted right by the door is a whiteboard featuring the diner's daily specials in adorable handwriting. You find the marker beside it and pick a corner, being extra careful not to smudge the words nearby. And there. That should do it. You cap the marker with a proud click and stand back to admire your handiwork. Written in cutesy letters is a message that reads, "The power trio, Chris, Sierra, and Marie, are serving you this busy Monday. They're doing their absolute best, so let's cheer them on."
Oh,
Chris's head pops over your shoulder, reading a note you left for him and the other staff. He lets out a soft, fond laugh when he finishes. "That's really cute and sweet of you. I'll make sure Sierra and Marie get to see it too." Your head flutters a bit when he lightly pats your back, his touch so warm and gentle it takes you by surprise.
That's sweet, though, to leave a message.
If you stumble once or twice as you make it back to your seat because of how flustered you are, no one sees it, probably. You ultimately decide on ordering an ice cream sundae despite Chris's eye roll and him muttering about how Kai is influencing you. It's a hot summer's day and the stove isn't working, all right? You can hear your mom's scolding voice in the back of your head for making this your lunch.
I mean, if anything, I would have gone for some, like, cake in the counter display here, but ice cream is a good choice, too.
Chris! Marie pops her head out of the staff door and flags him down with a wave of her hand. "I'm going to run to the hardware store to see if they have the parts to fix the stove. Can you and Sierra handle things while I'm gone?" "Go on ahead. Hopefully you can get patched so we can still serve dinner." "Here's hoping. I'll be back in a bit." You watch as she flings the kitchen door open, rushing to the front with her apron rolled up in one hand. You finish up your sundae, feeling content with a stomach full of dairy and sugar. After your meal, you walk up to the counter to pay, blinking in surprise when you find Sierra and Chris standing across from Ji Yang, who's awkwardly rubbing at the back of his neck. So I guess my order's been canceled then." "Yes, I'm really sorry. We're going to try and get the stove fixed up, but in the meantime, our kitchen can still serve cold dishes." That's not exactly what I'm in the mood for, but I'm sorry for, you know. Both Sierra and Chris immediately shake their heads and make noises of disagreement. "Oh my god, don't apologize. It's totally fine." "Yeah, I know you told us about your condition, but that's got nothing to do with this. I'll be honest, this kitchen is being held up by a dream and some duct tape, so it was bound to happen." "Yeah, but still, I don't know." He shrugs and points his gaze towards his feet. "I mean, if anything, it's not as bad as last time, right? The worst that can happen now is the produce spoiling. Shit. Maybe I shouldn't have jinxed it." "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm sure I'll be fine. Just let me..." He reaches over to the wooden counter and gives it a solid 3 knocks. Nice. Jin Young stares blankly at him and Sierra giggles as she shakes her head. Chris shrugs, his lips curling into a sheepish smile. "What? It doesn't hurt to be careful." You really shouldn't laugh, so you bite the inside of your cheek and press your lips shut.
I mean, it's cute. I would knock on wood 3 times. Okay, it's evening time. Where should I go now? I can visit Kai. I can visit Andrew. And I think this is Jean. You know what? We're gonna visit Kai because I actually haven't seen him. I think that's everywhere I can go. Hold on. I didn't scroll to the. Oh no, there's more. There's Kai. I forget who this is. At the general store. And an arcade, and that's Kevin. I think I'm gonna stick with my original plan here.
Maybe it's that you got used to seeing people around all the time, but the typical noise is absent as you pass through the heart of town. The relative slowness persists through the evening. There's not a hell of a lot to do that isn't the beach, but maybe that's the one thing people really come for. You're halfway through considering your dinner plans, a grand total of 2 options that you've seen around town, when your phone vibrates in your pocket. Kai, what's he calling you about? Hello? No, I'm asking. 2 days without. Kai's voice is too distant from the receiver for you to make out more than a few words. Is he talking to someone else? Paper. She is. I understand, but that's not. Maybe you should hang up. It sounds like he might have called the wrong number. Okay, bye.
Hey.
I'm also named Marie. That's why I was confused early at the diner, but that's okay.
You're there, right? His voice nearly makes you jump out of your skin. Yeah, I thought you called me by accident.
No, it's, you got a receipt for rental? A log or something? They should have emailed you.
Oh, yeah. I've got it still, I think. Why?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the... Yeah. They're on the other line. Give me a second.
In the background, you hear something click against a counter. Maybe it's the other phone. It doesn't sound like he's switching between calls. You can hear me? Mm-hmm. Alright, so, you know how I told you we're waiting for the other part to come in, and the company has negotiated, or has to negotiate with the dealer? Mm-hmm, yeah. So they haven't been doing that. I thought we got everything cleared up on Saturday.
Me too.
Yeah.
So what, Monday now? I guess something happened with the paperwork. Didn't get their I's dotted and T's crossed and whatever, so this other... He pauses as if considering whether or not he can say something. Maybe he's worried that the agent on the other line would hear him anyway. Person is saying that they're pretty sure it must have been user error. What? Are you serious? They're blaming me? Yeah, which, I mean, is insane. Do you know how much it takes for someone to bust their alternator? Especially in a rental? Company doesn't want to pay for, anything. Anyway, can you forward it to me? Shoot it to me in a text.
Well, thanks for staying on top of this, Kai, because what the hell?
You switch out of the call window to search through your emails. After some scrolling, sure enough, you find a receipt from Bargain Wheels, paid for on Friday. Kai confirms he's got your messages with an before presumably swapping back off to the other line. You don't manage to catch the rest of the conversation, but it's not long before he speaks up again.
Hey.
Hey. So, it's not 100% resolved, but I think we got most of it straightened out. Sorry for bothering you when you're on vacation. The restaurant on the pier looks like a sit-down, dress-up kind of place. Heading back to the inn to change and go back to the beach sounds like more trouble than it's worth. Maybe you'd have to sample it another day. As you get up from the bench in front of the burbling fountain, you start to make your way in the direction of the diner. No problem. I wasn't really doing anything. Really? I would have thought you'd have half the town eating out of your hand by now. What do you mean? Don't know. Heard from some people you're fun to hang out with. I don't know about that, but there's plenty of stuff I keep stumbling into.
Yeah, because the other options, I do like Brine Bay,
Oh? What you been up to?
Little bit of everything. I've been hanging out with Andrew. Yeah.
Oh.
That sounded bad. I meant, I'm surprised. He doesn't have a lot of people he hangs out with in town outside of me, so... I'm glad you're one of them now. His cat's affectionate, huh?
Oh yeah, we did hang out with Andrew at the bookshop thingy.
Something heavy clatters. It sounds like metal on metal. Are you working still? You nudge the diner's door open, the bell tinkering overhead. Sierra greets you with a little wave before she realizes that you're on the phone. She slides you a laminated menu across the counter, directing your attention to the bell as she pantomimes something, writing something down, and then disappears to attend to other customers.
Yeah.
Ah, crap. Right. I should let you go. No, it's cool. Like I said, I wasn't doing anything. I didn't realize the garage was open this late. Most closed pretty early on account of them opening even earlier, didn't they? Yeah, it's actually me just working right now. I've got some... He sighs. His phone doesn't quite catch it and his voice sounds farther away now, but everything near it sounds louder. Are you on speakerphone? Maybe. I've got a lot of work to do. You didn't get to it earlier today? You skim the menu one last time, hesitating for a second before you ring the bell and put in an order for both of us. It wouldn't hurt for you to stop by the garage and drop something off, especially since he's working late.
I mean, actually, I would also feel bad. Even though it's not really my problem, but you know. Seems like a nice enough dude, you know?
You don't really know what to get him, but he did say this Kai's special was something with
Whatever Chris says it is. I think it's 2 orders. Is that at least? I don't remember.
Sierra takes her order and disappears back into the kitchen. Nah.
Ah,
Chris has 3 little sisters, so I was watching him for a while he's working. They'd got a summer program, but guess it was off today. So fine. Everyone else is on schedule, and I'm more of a night person anyway. Works for me. Doesn't really work for everyone else, though.
How much? I think I'm gonna come drop off anyways. Do I want to spoil the surprise? How much do you have until you're done for the day? I mean, this one is like the last one.
You want me to swing by and keep you company? What? You want to hang out in the garage? You've seen it once. You've seen it all. Nice of you, but I'm a big boy. I can handle being alone. So, not what I meant.
yeah?
What you mean then? Okay, well, now it's embarrassing to admit that I wanted to spend time with you. Don't be embarrassed. Sincerity and whatever. It's sweet. From the kitchen, you hear the sizzle of ingredients hitting a hot flat top. On Kai's end, you catch the sound of something rattling, not from being jostled, but from sliding around on a tray. You must be looking for a lug nut or something.
What are you up to then?
Huh? You lean against the counter, waiting and watching as customers call for Sierra.
You're not doing anything now, but you seriously don't have any plans for tonight?
Yeah.
Not unless you can find something for me to do. Everything in Brine Bay looks like it closes by 8, so...
Ah,
Yeah, we used to have a dive bar around here, but too many noise complaints. Closest thing that you can recommend? Next town over, but not exactly easy to get on a whim. Tell me about it anyway. There's a cool little museum out there. It's really meant more for kids, but it's got little interactive exhibits you can do with stuff. Sounds adorable. I was looking for nightlife-y suggestions, though.
ah,
And then there's a cool drag bar I go to sometimes. Ooh. Dressed up, or... Nah, I don't have the eyelid strength for those lashes. I can take you sometime. Maybe when the garage is closed, if you're still around. Is it weird to say, sorry you didn't have your car break down somewhere more interesting? Could be worse. Yeah, that's what I said growing up. Could always be worse. I could actually live in the middle of nowhere instead of here. Give me a second. You can hear his voice, or at least the sound of him growing farther away from the call receiver, before you hear the very loud sound of whirring. Before long, the wheels under his cart start to turn again, and his phone clatters against metal. Sorry. It used to be that the only place I ever got to go was to visit Chris. Chris didn't live in Brine Bay. I got the impression he'd grown up here.
Ah,
Yeah, he did. He went to a high school out of town. My stupid ass used to think I could bike there and back before dinner, but I couldn't, so he sneaked me into his dorm. What a fun adventure. These days, Well, there's no dorms to sneak into, huh? Takes away half the fun of it. You guys sound close. So, what do you do now for fun? Not a hell of a lot. Don't really have time to get into... Yes, I was trying to figure out what that word is. And I get tired by like 10. You try beating last call when you got to be up by 5. Are you ever really actually up by 5? No. Order up. Interrupting your train of thought is the rustle of a paper bag making contact with the counter. Sierra flashes an easy smile, her eyes flicking in the direction of your phone before she rings you up. She hands back the receipt in your card, sending you on your way. The bell jingles again and the humidity outside greets you as you emerge from the air-conditioned diner. Got dinner? Got us dinner, actually. Us? You mean me, or are you grabbing food with someone else? I meant you.
oh.
I mean, they're whatever your special order thing, hash browns, whatever. His voice softens over the line, and you can imagine the look on his face. More surprised than anything, eyes wide and his mouth half open in the way it gets when he's thinking.
Now, what'd I do to deserve this?
His voice, level save for when he saw fit to tease you or make a joke, rises slightly. If you're coming through, I guess I should clean up the joint. Don't want you to have to use your knees as tables or anything. I guess, I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, see you in a bit.
Hell yeah, we're gonna go eat dinner together. The call clicks off and you pocket your phone before you make for the garage in a hurry.
Don't want the food to get cold.
Walk very fast. I wonder how long, or it shouldn't be too far away given that Kai took us there last time, right? I wouldn't think it would be too far.
The garage shutters are still drawn, but bathing in the last dregs of sunlight is your mechanic. Kai waves you over and takes the bag from your hands once he's able.
How much do I owe you?
Calloused fingertips graze against your shoulder as he leads you to the finest dining hall this side of the industrial district. A 2-low coffee table beside a well-loved leather couch. Don't worry about it.
No way. I've got to give a tip to the cute delivery driver.
Okay, so Kai does flirt. Okay, I think I talked about this last time so far, at least with the intros. I think Wyatt was the one who was like the most flirty out of all of them. Everyone else was either like not super flirty and or a bit more subtle. So, okay.
His laughter sounds better right beside him than it does over the phone.
I said, that's it. That was cute though. I like that.
All right, time to settle in for my nightly scrolling. Let's see.
Wyatt says something. The kitchen.
Thanks to everyone's patience today, we'll get the kitchen up and running by tomorrow.
Even though we got hash browns today, it's okay. Okay, we're gonna click off because I don't really want to read all of this. The first few are good to get a sense of what happened. Anyways, and then we go to sleep. And then I think today's the last day because it should be. Tuesday. Yeah, this is the last day of the demo. And so far, it's fun. Honestly, it's really cool to see the different characters. I do wonder, I guess, how it'll all kind of end in terms of getting the car back and spending time with. There's Andrew, and I think that's Jean, and there's Wyatt. I already spent a lot of time with Wyatt, to be honest. Chris is over there. I forget who this is. Who is this? Is that Vince? I've also spent some time with Vince. But I kind of haven't been to the arcade, so I kind of want to go. Or who else could this be? I can't remember. Now, it isn't exactly the spot for a typical morning hangout, but you bet visiting an arcade at this time of day might not be as busy. Looks like you probably shouldn't be buying a lottery ticket anytime soon. The place is bustling with people of all ages, from elderly in wheelchairs to screeching toddlers and strollers. It is summer, I guess, and people are more likely to be on break. And then if tourists are popular, like they come here because it's a popular place, then that also makes sense. Parents hold large paper gift bags in one hand while trying to tame their rowdy children with the other. There are a few dashing around in between the adults, giggling and squealing. I know it's summer vacation, but isn't it a little too early for all these kids to be out and about? My thoughts exactly. But it happens. You glance to your right, noticing the bright pink sign covered in glittery letters that say, Happy Birthday Melody on the window. Oh. Your curious gaze trails to the left and you find Jean by the front door. Oh, that's Jean. Then who's... Oh, I think the bookshop was Andrew and Vince then. Well, I haven't seen Jean in a while. Holding an equally sparkly sign against it. While he's distracted, you sneak up right behind him and poke his shoulder. Jean jolts and turns, greeting you with an adorable, wide, doe-eyed look. There are splotches of glitter across his forehead and cheeks, upping the cuteness even more. Oh, I'm definitely keeping my mouth shut about that. Wouldn't want him wiping it off now. Maybe I can sneak a photo when he's not looking.
Hey.
Good morning. Morning. What are you up to? Jean clears his throat and shyly looks away. My mom is close friends with Melody's parents, so she roped me into helping put decorations up for the birthday girl's party. I don't know them personally, but you know how it is sometimes with moms. Huh. If you don't know them, then why'd she specifically ask you? Beats me. I have a hard time saying no to her. I'm off Tuesdays, and this isn't usually how I spend them. Everyone here is a kid except for me, and it's a bit awkward, honestly. Not gonna lie, I can imagine him with one. He seems like he'd be really good with them. Would Mr. Big Sheriff get in trouble if he left early? Haha, very funny. As a matter of fact, yes, I would. He jerks his chin to somewhere behind him. You follow the general direction and startle a bit at the woman watching Jean through the slightly tinted glass. You can clearly see who Jean gets a lot of his looks from. Her gaze meets yours, and she smiles warmly at you. The door swings open with a gust of air conditioning, almost too cold for the slightly warm summer morning. She stands beside Jean, nodding in greeting. Hello, and good morning. I hope I'm not interrupting, but I don't think we've met. I'm Laura Williams, Jean's mother. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Marie, Jean's... I mean, we're friends, aren't we? Friend! He was the first person I met when I arrived at Brine Bay, and he's been nothing but helpful and sweet. That sounds like my son, all right. I'm glad he's been able to take good care of you. Jean avoids your gaze and sheepishly rubs at the back of his neck. Marie's over-exaggerating a bit, Mom. I haven't done much, really. I'll gladly take your friend's words over yours. You brush off a lot of praise far too often. Well, it's very nice to meet you, Marie. I don't really get introduced to Jean's company nowadays. She sighs and looks up at him tenderly. Jean meets her gaze, his expression softening into a small, shy smile. I know he's been doing amazing work as sheriff. I'm very proud of him, but a mother can't help worrying, you know. She gently elbows his side and he feigns a pained look. Laura takes her hand and lightly tugs on it. Please, come in. I ordered some local Filipino catering and it's amazing. I want Filipino food right now. I want to eat. Thank God, it's a birthday party. This is gonna be some good Filipino catering. Mom, why don't you go and find Aunt Michaela first? She's been looking for you. Oh, right. You two have fun, and it was nice talking to you, Marie. You grin and wave her off as she walks away and into the crowd. Jean turns, meeting your gaze and offering an awkward smile. Sorry, she gets excited whenever she meets someone new. She's super sweet. Don't worry about it. Hey, why don't we head in together? I was planning on playing a few games before I ran into you. I'd stick out like a sore thumb since I'm by myself, so I'd love some company. His expression, how cute, brightens at your suggestion and nods eagerly. The glitter glue on his face twinkles with movement, and you can't help laughing softly. I'd really like that. Come on, let's go. Dun-dun-dun, play some games at the arcade with Jean. Ooh, cool place. As you walk into the arcade, your eyes widen at the sight of pastel pink everywhere, from hanging streamers to pink balloons covering every inch of the ceiling. Parents are seated at a long table, busy chatting to one another, while their children sit next to them, munching away at stretchy cheese pizza. Oh, I miss stretchy cheese pizza. Excuse me. Sorry, could you two scoot over a bit? Big package coming through. Jean puts an arm around your shoulder, pulling you over to the right and close to his chest. Close proximity. While trying to ignore the stuttering in your own chest, someone walks past you, pulling a wagon carrying a heavy-looking sealed crate. It's the same person and wagon you saw on Saturday at the farmer's market. Their partner doesn't seem to be around, though. Jean, ever the gentleman and helper, steps forward and offers a hand. Would you like some help with that? Nah, I'm good. These muscles aren't just for show, you know. With a loud grunt, they trudge forward and you two watch as they manage to find an empty corner to park. I wonder what's in the box. Maybe some party supplies. I'm not sure. I'm more surprised to see them here than whatever they brought, honestly. Min's a tattoo artist, so it's a wonder what they're here for. I doubt they'd actually tattoo the kids, especially in front of the parents. He sighs and shakes his head before turning to you. Anyway, didn't you say you wanted to hit up some games? I'm more than happy to hang around while you play to your heart's content. Come on, don't just stand back and watch. I don't know. A lot of these are scams. I'd rather just buy the prize if I can instead of struggling with these machines. But that's half the fun of it. Let's try a couple before you wave the white flag. How about we start with the crane machines? You need a good level of skill and chance, but it's not too hard once you get the hang of it. And if we fail, that's okay. It's all part of the experience. You scan through the row of crane games filled with various adorable prizes, pausing at the one that has round, fluffy kitty plushes. Ooh. There's even an orange one that looks like Bart, so you have to try it, obviously. Wait right here. I need to get his tokens. After a quick dash to the nearest token machine, you waltz back to him with a full plastic cup. You tug on Jean's wrist towards the machine. He huffs, smiling fondly, and shrugging his shoulders in acceptance. All right, so who's going to play? I mean, you want to try it? Jean huffs and rolls his eyes. He puts some tokens in and gets into position. All right, just don't get your hopes up. Jean glances at the plump orange cat, making an adorable grumpy face. He shares a look with you and grins. Well, we meet again, Bart. The cat that they saved before, out of a tree. I've got to get him out of there, huh? The timer on the crane begins once he moves it slightly, his brows furrowed in concentration, and the glitter on his cheek twinkles from the bright lights of the machine. Encourage him. You got this. Oop. I clicked on the back button. You lean in closer to him and feel his body relax against yours. I'll do my best. I wouldn't want to disappoint when I've got an audience with me. Hey, win or lose, it's all part of the game. I'm more than happy just watching. The crane descends, seemingly right on target. It clutches around Jean's prize and slowly comes back up, only for you to watch in dismay as the plushie slips free, dramatically falling back into its original spot. A sad tune mocks Jean's misfortune, and he sighs, utterly defeated. Well, I think that's enough crane games for me. Maybe we should move on. After that exciting experience, you leave the machine behind in search of another game to play. Laura's laughter drifts from the arcade's entrance, and you can't help feeling curious about her and Jean. Laura is super outgoing, huh? You bet. She lights up a room and loves making people feel welcome. Sounds like you take after your mom a lot too, huh? He laughs softly, but there's a touch of hesitance in his expression with the way his gaze shifts to the ground. I think so, but not completely. You decide to move on, judging from the subtle shift in his mood at that remark. Laura said you were very popular back in high school. Mind telling me more about it, Mr. Hotshot? Jean rolls his eyes and sighs. He ruffles his hair, looking a bit flustered. She just loves teasing me in front of others. It's not really true. I studied and took on part-time jobs whenever I could. Very exciting stuff, I know. That checks out, I guess, but doesn't tell me that was all you ever did. Or don't tell me that's all you ever did. I mean, I wasn't always glued to my books. I played some dance games with friends when I had the time. And don't give me that look. No, I'm not equipped to move like that anymore. What are you talking about? Aren't you supposed to be agile as a law enforcement officer? You would think. You were just trying to escape from showing off those dance moves, sir. We will get you to dance one day, I guess. Oh, come on. You sound like an old man. Okay, but hey, since we're in an arcade, there should be one of those dance games. Don't be so quick to give up. I'm not old, just a little less flexible and more prone to sore muscles in the morning. Without waiting for him to reply, you take his hand and drag him forward. Your search doesn't take long when a familiar pop song blares nearby, leading you right to a dance party deluxe machine. Min is absolutely killing it on the stage, moving swiftly to the beat of the music. They finish with a whoop of triumph, turning around to grin at their tripod-mounted phone. Their eyes quickly widen with surprise at Jean and you clapping, but they recover quickly and wave happily. Hey, I didn't notice you two, sorry. I was in the zone. You definitely were. What's with the recording equipment? Oh, it's my way to keep track of my score. I'm trying to beat my best one. I'm still the reigning champion, so the only competition I've got is with myself. Their eyes light up and look between you and Jean. Do either of you want to try it? It's super fun, I promise. You glance at Jean, who promptly turns his head away. Oh no, I know what you're thinking. Alright, fine. I'll go first. Just wait, you'll be begging to come up here. Min grins happily as you approach the machine, and they send a quick thumbs up of encouragement before hopping off. You sort through the music selection and pick out a song you've been hearing on the radio. You glance behind you, finding Jean watching intently, arms crossed over his chest, so serious. Taunt him? Show off? I'm gonna try. Don't know if I'm a good dancer in this. Maybe if you make a grand performance, it'll convince him to play, so your plan is to do huge flashy moves to get this party started. Except you forget that it's been a while since you played this game, so your foot slips on the platform, pulling your legs wide apart. Be careful. Are you okay? Jean's face pinches with concern, and you let out a big sigh. So much for trying to convince him to play. Okay, so you had a rocky start. Your movements are stiff and awkward, but luckily no angles were twisted for now. Thankfully, the tides change after you get used to the footwork and catch on to the rhythm of the soundtrack. Jean relaxes and Min cheers you on beside him. This reminds me, like a couple months ago, I ended up going to an arcade and trying out one of the little dancing games, and it's really fun. So I'm glad that our main character here and like Min and hopefully Jean will be able to play. Even though he doesn't join in, you feel pretty good watching him smiling while occasionally shouting your name and clapping. The rest of the morning goes by in a blur, full of laughs, sweat, and some really crazy score combos. Cute. Where should I go now? I've worked up an appetite. Where? It wants me to... Hello? Is it just them? I mean, I'm happy to go to the beach. Let's go to the beach. You walk along the beach, breathing in the refreshing, salty sea breeze. I would think we need to eat, but hopefully we ate the Filipino catering at the party, because I would not miss out on that, personally. Also, give me a second, because I need to put in my laptop charger. Anyways, continue. Seagulls cry high above your head while some others waddle across the sand. Along the birds are swaths of tourists snapping photos of picturesque scenery, sunbathing on the sand or wading into the ocean. Thankfully, it isn't too hot, so you're more than comfortable hanging outside instead of seeking shelter in a place with AC. Now the problem is, what should I do on such a nice summer afternoon? You could lay down and try to take in some sun, but it's a little too packed for your liking at the moment. A frustrated sigh leaves your mouth, and you continue to wander aimlessly along while trying to figure out what to do. When all seems lost, two very familiar voices suddenly come into earshot. I cannot believe you're laughing at me right now. What kind of terrible man are you?
Hey.
Wyatt and Jean. That's no way to talk to someone who treated you to lunch. We'll see if I ever do that for you again, you ungrateful prick. Jean and Wyatt are in an intense conversation about, well, you're not sure, but that's up to you to find out. It's sort of shocking to hear Jean of all people snap like that. I wasn't snapping. I thought we were just playing pretend. But that makes sense. From what you've seen, he's a gentle giant that stops fights, not start them. It's almost as if the Jean you were with this morning got replaced with some pissy doppelganger. Just what the hell happened since you last saw him? Who knows? You follow their voices to the pier, finding the duo standing a few feet apart and glaring heatedly at each other. Okay. Ooh, look at the beach. I saw the little crab there. Between them is a brutal crime scene splattered all over Wyatt's very expensive-looking leather shoes. There's ketchup, mustard, relish, and onions amongst the mess. We're eating a hot dog. Speaking of, the perpetrator rests in one of Wyatt's hands, completely bare except for a blob of mustard clinging to the edge of the bun. Jean stares at the barren hot dog and then at the mess, and now he's laughing. His frustration quickly dissipates, shoulders shaking as he snickers at Wyatt, who looks equal parts faint and ready to wring the sheriff's neck. Would you stop laughing at me? These are a one-of-a-kind St. Raphael double monk strap shoes, you heathen. I have no idea what that combination of words mean, buddy. But hey, at least you didn't get it on your white suit. And don't say I didn't warn you. I told you that was way too many toppings on one dog. Okay, so it turns out they aren't arguing. And here I thought I was going to get front row seats to a wrestling match between a posh businessman and the sheriff. Haha, we are so funny. Still, they're an interesting combo. I wonder how they know each other. Yeah. It just so happens that I'd usually eat this with a fork and knife, so I'm out of my element. I'm pretty damn sure you've only ever eaten these when you're with me. Wyatt scoffs and delicately tries to balance the hot dog in his hand as he searches through his pockets with the other.
Oh.
He turns his head to the right, spotting you instantly. His pinched scowl smooths into a suave smile tinged with coy relief as he waves you over. Good afternoon, Marie. Please excuse the mess. You wouldn't happen to have napkins on you by chance? Hey, Wyatt. Sorry. I've got nothing.
Oh, please, don't apologize. I'll get to sort it somehow. You two seem pretty acquainted with each other. Is that a hint of jealousy you hear? You could be imagining things, but the possibility of it makes your chest squeeze. Wyatt smirks knowingly at Jean, looking devilishly handsome despite the mess by his feet.
Two handsome men in front of you. What a dream.
Maybe we are. Maybe we are. Is the sheriff upset at that fact? Jean jolts with a sudden look of realization. He shakes his head and clears his throat, ears tinged red. Don't worry about it. Anyways, about the shoes. Just forget it, buddy. That stuff is never coming off. This isn't my first time with stubborn stains, my dear friend. I've cleaned wine off satin before. Nothing is impossible. Okay, good luck. He flicks his hair over his shoulder and walks over to the hot dog stand, mustard smears and all. Jean rolls his eyes before turning his attention to you. Hey, we'll get out of your way once that guy cleans himself up, or at least tries to. I'm happy to see you again, though. Were you craving a hot dog after the arcade? Not really, but it looks like you've worked up an appetite, huh? I guess having muscles like that does burn off food faster. You can't help roving your gaze over his arms and broad shoulders. Jean's ears flush red and he sheepishly rubs at the back of his neck.
I guess we are also extra flirty.
I'm not even all that fit. I'm not even all that fit now. You should have seen me a few years ago. I trained every single day, rain or shine, and was at my fittest then.
You definitely aren't going to imagine what he looked like missed training in the rain. Nope. Nuh-uh. Yeah, like we weren't going to think about it. After batting that image away, you try to direct your attention to Wyatt, who's chatting away with the vendor. Does he have pictures? Anyways, he reaches out for the bundle of napkins the man hands him a few moments later, nodding his thanks. Are you sure you don't want to reload on the toppings? It's free of charge. Thank you, but I'd rather not waste your supplies. I fear it'll end up on the floor again, and on myself, somehow. As you watch the exchange, you look back to Jean, who rolls his eyes again at Wyatt. He notices your curious gaze, offering a casual shrug and smile. So, if not for the tasty hot dogs, what brings you to the pier? I heard you two fighting. Jean laughs and shakes his head. Don't worry, that's how we usually talk to each other. Really? I wonder how you two get if you actually fought then. Wyatt, fighting? He'd rather stomp away and sulk than go head to head. Oh, you two seem to be having a wonderful conversation without me. Wyatt approaches and shares a glance with Jean, who smirks in response. You came back just in time. We were talking about you, actually. The man scoffs at Jean and turns to you. Please disregard everything he said. His trustworthiness is limited to his work and nothing else.
Hey.
Hey, I was just joking.
Yes, I'm sure you absolutely weren't trying to ruin my reputation in front of Marie. I know you all too well, Williams. For all the bickering these two do, they seem close. But seeing the sheriff hanging out with a rich businessman doesn't make quite a lot of sense. So maybe you found yourself in between some official business. Actually, am I interrupting something here, guys? I can leave if you want. They both startle at your suggestion and quickly shake their heads. No, it's nothing formal like that. We're just catching up since it's been a while. Yes, we saw each other often fairly in high school, but we've gone on our separate ways since then. Our schedules have never quite matched up. But I happen to be on vacation and Jean is off duty today, so here we are. However, I would have preferred a different venue for lunch.
Oh.
He sighs dramatically before taking an elegant bite of his food and sighing. This is the first time he's seen someone make a hot dog look like it's gourmet. You make one hell of an exciting duo. How long have you two known each other? Wyatt and Jean meet each other's gazes. I'd say it's just short of 10 years, perhaps. Give or take, yeah. I stopped counting after a while. Did you two hang out in the same crowd? I honestly can't really see that happening, so I've got to know. I think it should be pretty obvious, Marie. And what is that supposed to mean? Oh, nothing. I don't know why I put up with you sometimes. Jean struggles, or shrugs, struggles, briefly sticking his tongue out at Wyatt. The man shakes his head, turning back to you. We were both in the student council. I, of course, was the president, and Jean here was vice president. I can totally see that. It was a triumphant 2 years, and we shaped the student body for the better under my guidance. We were quite the pair, you know. He's making that second part up. The most power we ever had over anything was organizing prom. You seem close. They both make disgruntled faces at your observation. We do. It's been a long time since we've hung out, but I guess some things haven't changed since high school. Well, except for your physique. Hey, I did offer you morning training sessions on the weekend to get you into shape. And lose out on my much-needed beauty sleep? No thank you. Jean scoffs as Wyatt takes another bite from his hot dog. Even if they say they aren't close, I'm getting a clearer picture now of how they were before. It's pretty funny to watch them interact. It is, actually. I'm actually really enjoying this part of the day. It was nice seeing Jean earlier, but now we get to see a bit more of the interactions between characters here. It's fun. Honestly, we barely hung out together in the first place outside of student council meetings. The busier things got, the less we saw of each other, especially when senior year came around. But that's normal for everyone. We tend to drift apart from school friends once we grow up. Wyatt nods, tapping a napkin against his lips. I don't find it too depressing in the grand scheme of things. A familiar face to meet up with from time to time is more than enough for me. Same here. I feel bad enough as it is when I cancel plans with friends at the last minute, whenever I get a call from work. If things don't go as planned, there's more time in the future. Now is better than never to catch up, huh? We try to. Sometimes there's more to talk about, while other times we just sort of sit in silence. Now, don't make it sound like we're that dull in front of Marie. Even if it's the truth? Oh well. Trust me, I'll finish mine before you do. Yes, yes, brag about your eating prowess in front of Marie and make me look bad. Wyatt takes another bite and hums, lifting the dog up to eye level and inspects it. This is a real marvel, though. The taste is exactly the same as when I had it when we were teenagers.
Oh.
You haven't had a hot dog since? Obviously not, but still. Just doesn't have it often. He heaves a deep sigh, placing a hand over his stomach. But this is no longer a teenage boy's body, and I'll most likely have indigestion in the next hour. You worry way too much about your digestion at your age. You're the only one I know that drinks probiotics every single day. Excuse you, but it's never too early. Don't come crying to me when you develop gastrointestinal complications at 28. I don't eat this all the time, buddy. I started meal prepping after I became sheriff. You briefly imagine Jean cooking in the kitchen, presenting an array of mouth-watering dishes. Maybe you can get a taste before this vacation is over. And yet, it's the first thing you propose we have for lunch. It's a guilty pleasure, all right. I know this stuff isn't good for you, and isn't the best, but it's nostalgic. The vendor sticks his head out at the stall, looking mildly insulted. Hey, I heard that, Sheriff Williams. Look, they're not, well, I don't know much about nutrition, but there's some veg on the menu. And you keep coming back, so it's gotta be good, I think.
I'm gonna agree with Jean.
Everything in moderation is good, I think. A pure hot dog isn't the end of the world. Jean smiles softly and nods in agreement. Exactly. We've all got our cravings from time to time.
Let us know what your cravings are. Yesterday, I literally was craving chocolate, and there's not really any that I have right now, which is fine, because it stops me from eating the chocolate that I know I'm just randomly craving. But you know, I get it. A hot dog sounds really good. I also lately have been seeing pizza on TV, and I really want pizza. Um, but it's not something I really eat in my like day-to-day life, so it's just one of those things that when I get reminded about it, I really want to have. But overall, I'm okay. So I kind of get the hot dog thing. Everything in moderation. He cocks a brow at Wyatt, who grumbles something about his hot dog. You know, I saw Valerie leaving Jenna's bake shop with a box full of strawberry tarts a few days ago. I remember someone saying those were his favorite little treat. Wyatt freezes mid-bite, and Jean snickers at the other man's cheeks turn light pink. It seems that I might have to go soon. You can leave now if it's a rush. I've got some grocery shopping I need to do anyway. They glance over as you snort and shake your head. You two really are always on the go, huh? Wyatt smirks and Jean shrugs. I'm actually surprised they're just meeting up at the beach, but maybe it's a convenient location for them. That's just how we are. I guess that's one of the reasons why we got along in the first place. I definitely wouldn't associate myself with someone who doesn't prioritize their responsibilities, so he has my respect in that regard. Wow, thanks. I was almost touched by that. Wyatt dramatically rolls his eyes while scrolling through his phone. Anyway, thankfully Valerie has covered for the next 15 minutes, so it'll be fine to stay a bit longer. It'd be rude of me to leave Marie so suddenly again. He turns and narrows his eyes at Jean. Next time, however, I'll be the one to pick our lunch venue. What day and time is good for you?
Huh?
Wait, what? I thought you were only making a quick stop at Brine Bay, like usual. Well, things changed during planning. My schedule allowed me extra time this month, so Valerie and I decided to extend my stay. I'll be here for at least another week, if the rest of this week is too busy for you. That's a surprise. I mean, I'm glad to hear that you're sticking around for longer. Please, don't sound too happy about it. Would it kill you to stop being a prick sometimes? Oh, but who else would dare speak to the sheriff like this? So he's having fun with it. Jean scowls and Wyatt tucks his phone back into his pants pocket. But like I said, we should have time to meet again if you're not too busy. I'm sure I can find a day. Wonderful. If I can't get to your message, feel free to send one to Valerie and she'll notify me. Yeah. Who should I have take your messages, huh? My deputies are busy enough as it is. Jean tilts his head and locks eyes with you. Wyatt looks over as well, and his face softens into a dashing smile. Jean's lips pull into a teasing smirk, and your heart flutters at the warmth in his and Wyatt's gazes. Maybe you can help me out with that, Marie. It might be the afternoon sun bearing down its full force on you, but you're feeling awfully hot right now. Sure. Your voice cracks slightly then, and both men laugh softly in response. Okay. Where the hell should I go now? I'm actually gonna have to save it because my voice is going and I have to go do something. But that was fun. I will save this last bit of the evening and night and anything that follows after in the demo for the next video. But yeah, let me know what you think so far of this part. We had a little bit of different reactions or interactions with different characters, so that was fun. We got to see Chris, and we spent a lot more time with Jean this time around, and also got to see Kai, so that was also pretty cool. And I'm still not able to memorize all their like little phone icons, but that's okay. But I do like this aspect of the game that you kind of get to choose where you go. Though sometimes I would think if you're going like for Jean, for example, it's good to hang out with him and Vince, and then look out for Jean whenever you can. But I do wonder what other, like how much you can interact with other characters, because like I didn't realize that like Jean and Wyatt were friends, for example, until that last scene. But yeah, it's been pretty cool. I really like this game, and I'm looking forward to when there's more. But I will hopefully be able to finish the demo soon enough, so won't leave you hanging too much. But anyways, let me know what you think. If you like the video, please press the like button, and if you'd like to see more of my channel, feel free to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye!